In the tapestry of human relationships, there are threads that bind and threads that fray. But what happens when our actions unravel the very connections we hold dear? The truth is, the damage isn't just in the moment of unfairness, it's in the aftermath, in how we choose to mend or break further. Welcome to a deep dive into the art, science, and profound impact of saying, "I'm sorry," in a way that truly matters. I'm Ayla, and today we're dissecting not just the anatomy of an apology, but its ripple effects across the landscape of our lives. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Most of us are terrible at apologizing, and the consequences are far more severe than we realize. We fumble, we deflect, we make excuses. But why? It's not because we're inherently bad people. It's because we've never truly understood the weight our words, or lack thereof, carry. Think about it. We spend years learning complex skills, but when's the last time someone taught you the intricacies of healing a wounded relationship? This isn't about the soulless math we were taught in school. It's about friendships lost, families torn apart, and professional relationships shattered. All because we couldn't bridge the gap with a genuine apology. Let's start by talking about the mock apology. You know the one. It starts with "I'm sorry you feel that way" and ends with everyone feeling worse than before. These aren't just ineffective, they're relationship poison. Studies show that insincere apologies can actually increase feelings of resentment and distance between people. In fact, research from the University of Ohio found that a bad apology can be worse than no apology at all, leading to decreased trust and a higher likelihood of seeking revenge. But it doesn't have to be this way. Today, we're rebuilding the apology from the ground up. We'll explore what to say when you've been unfair, what to avoid at all costs, and most importantly, the profound impact your words and actions can have in the aftermath. Let's break down the anatomy of an effective apology piece by piece and examine the consequences of getting each part right or disastrously wrong. 1. The acknowledgement. The foundation of any genuine apology is a clear, unambiguous acknowledgement of what you did wrong. No minimizing, no vague references. Name the action and own it. Bad example: mistakes were made in how things were handled. Good example: I treated you unfairly when I blamed you without hearing your side. That was wrong. A study by Roy Lewicki at Ohio State University found that acknowledgement is the most important component of an apology. Without it, the injured party is likely to view any subsequent expressions of remorse as manipulative or insincere. 2. The impact statement. This is where you demonstrate that you've thought deeply about how your unfair treatment affected the other person. It shows empathy and proves you're not just apologizing to alleviate your own guilt and to continue to benefit from the perks you had from that relationship before the damage was done. Bad example: I'm sorry if you were offended by how things went down. Good example: I understand that my unfair blame damaged your professional reputation and made you feel unsupported and betrayed by someone you trusted. The stakes? Research in the journal Negotiation and Conflict Management Research shows that acknowledging the specific harm done increases the likelihood of forgiveness by up to 45%. Without this step, the injured party often feels unheard and invalidated, prolonging the conflict. 3. The emotion. An apology without emotion is just empty words. This doesn't mean you need to break down in tears, but your tone and body language should match the gravity of the situation. Bad example: monotone voice, "I guess I'm sorry for being unfair," or whatever. Good example: sincere tone, making eye contact, "I feel terrible about how I treated you. I'm truly sorry for being so unfair and damaging our relationship." The impact. Studies in nonverbal communication show that up to 93% of emotional meaning is conveyed through tone of voice and body language. A disconnected emotional display can negate even the most perfectly worded apology. But what about online? Without nonverbal cues, we must deliberately inject emotion into our words. 1. Use explicit emotional language. "I feel deeply ashamed and regretful." 2. Employ punctuation thoughtfully. "I'm so sorry, I really messed up." 3. Consider emojis in informal settings. "I feel awful about hurting you." 4. Use formatting for emphasis. "I deeply regret my actions." 5. Provide emotional context. "I've been sick to my stomach about how I treated you." Remember, authenticity is key. These techniques should amplify genuine feelings, not fabricate them. While more challenging, a well-crafted online apology can be nearly as effective as in-person ones in repairing relationships. 4. The explanation, not the excuse. This is where many apologies go off the rails. There's a fine line between offering context and making excuses. The key is to explain your thought process without using it to justify your unfair actions. Bad example: I was unfair because I was under a lot of pressure from upper management. Good example: I was feeling overwhelmed by pressure, and I unfairly took it out on you. That doesn't justify my actions, and I should have handled the situation much differently. The consequences? Psychology research shows that while explanations can increase understanding, perceived excuses significantly decrease the likelihood of forgiveness. An explanation framed as an excuse can reignite anger and resentment in the injured party. 5. The plan for change. An apology without a plan for change is just words. This is where you outline exactly how you'll prevent this unfair treatment from happening again. Bad example: I'll try to be fairer in the future. Good example: to ensure I never treat you or anyone else this unfairly again, I'm committed to implementing a peer review process for all project assessments. I'd also like to meet with you weekly to address any concerns before they escalate. The stakes? A longitudinal study on workplace conflicts found that apologies accompanied by concrete action plans led to a 41% increase in relationship repair compared to apologies alone. Without a plan, repeated offenses are likely, creating a cycle of hurt and distrust. 6. The request for forgiveness. This is crucial. You're asking for forgiveness, not demanding it. Recognize that forgiveness is a gift, not an obligation. Bad example: so we're good now, right? Good example: I hope you can forgive me, but I completely understand if you need time. I'm committed to rebuilding your trust, however long it takes. The impact? Research in the field of positive psychology shows that pressuring for immediate forgiveness can lead to false forgiveness, where the injured party suppresses their true feelings, leading to long-term resentment and relationship breakdown. Now that we've dissected the anatomy of an effective apology, let's talk about the dire consequences of getting it wrong. These aren't just social faux pas, they're relationship destroyers. 1. Trust erosion. Insincere apologies create a boy who cried wolf effect. Over time, even your genuine apologies may be disbelieved. 2. Emotional distance. Bad apologies can create emotional walls, leading to decreased intimacy in personal relationships and reduced collaboration in professional settings. 3. Conflict escalation. A poor apology often reignites the original conflict, sometimes making it even worse than before. 4. Psychological toll. For the person you've treated unfairly, a bad apology can lead to feelings of gaslighting, self-doubt, and even trauma. 5. Reputation damage. In the age of social media, how you handle conflicts and apologies can have far-reaching effects on your personal and professional reputation. 6. Lost opportunities. Broken relationships due to poor conflict resolution can lead to missed personal and professional opportunities that may never come again. But here's the thing. The words are only the beginning. What you do after the apology is just as crucial as the apology itself. 1. Consistent, changed behavior. Your actions must align with your words consistently over time. 2. Open communication. Create spaces for ongoing dialogue about the issue and its resolution. 3. Patience. Understand that rebuilding trust is a process, not an event. 4. Self-reflection. Use this as an opportunity for genuine personal growth. 5. Respect boundaries. If the person you've hurt needs space, respect that as part of their healing process. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, we need to address a hard truth. Sometimes, even with a perfect apology, reconciliation isn't possible. The damage may simply be too great. An effective apology isn't a guaranteed fix. It's a step towards healing, but it doesn't erase the past. In some cases, the hurt party may need to prioritize their own well-being by maintaining distance. This doesn't mean your apology failed. It means you're both acknowledging the gravity of what occurred. In these situations, the apology becomes less about saving the relationship and more about personal growth and closure. It's a way of saying, I recognize the harm I've caused, I'm working to be better, and I respect your decision. Ultimately, whether a relationship can be mended isn't solely up to the person apologizing. It's a two-way street, and sometimes the healthiest outcome for all involved is to part ways with mutual understanding and respect. In a world that often rewards those who never admit fault, choosing to apologize effectively is a radical act. It's a declaration that you value your relationships and your integrity more than your pride. We all make mistakes. We all treat others unfairly sometimes. But with the right approach, we can often repair what's broken, making our connections stronger at the mended places. But it's equally important to recognize that sometimes it's okay if it's over too. Not every relationship can or should be salvaged, and that's a natural part of life and growth. Now I'd like to hear from you. Share your experiences with apologies, both given and received, in the comments below. Subscribe for more insights on emotional intelligence, and remember, every mistake is an opportunity for growth and deeper connection. The choice is yours. Will you take it?